Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sydney. This is part 2 of my top 10 mistakes Poshmark sellers make and how to avoid them. If you missed part 1, definitely go back and watch it. I will link it in the description box down below, so make sure that you go back and watch part 1 as well because it goes directly with this video. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off in part 1 and we are gonna start with number 5. So 10 through 6 are in part 1 and this video is going to start with point number 5. So number 5, you're not selling the right items. So this is going to make or break you in your Poshmark business. If you are not selling the right items, if you are not listing the right items, if you are not sourcing the right items, you are not going to make sales. You can sit there and you can share all day and you can, do all of the stuff. But if you don't have the right items listed in your closet, if you don't have items that people want to buy, you don't have trendy items, they're not going to sell. And you're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna be frustrated, especially if you have gone out and sourced these items from a thrift store to sell. So you very much need to keep up with current trends. There are tons of stuff that are, usually seasonal trends that are coming about, and you need to be really aware of what you're sourcing, especially if you have reached a point in your business where you are sourcing items to sell. And not everything is going to sell on Poshmark. What sells on other platforms doesn't necessarily sell on Poshmark. So you really want to do your research. If you are outsourcing, you want to look up comps, you want to look up, how many of an item has sold. You want to really pay attention on Instagram to what the fashion bloggers are wearing and what people want to buy, because what they're wearing is what people want to buy. So, if you are completely lost on sourcing, if you have started, kind of thrifting for items, but you don't really know what to do, or if you are coming over from another platform, I do have 2 guides that will help you. My sourcing guide, which is linked down below, that covers a very broad area of different categories in the thrift store, items that I prioritize. It has brands in it, has all kinds of information in it, and it goes into specific brands that you can buy that will sell at a price point that's worth your time. I also have my new Goodwill outlet guide that is also listed down below. If you prefer to source at the Goodwill outlet, those are brands that are not going to necessarily sell at a higher price point, but that I find consistently and that will sell consistently. So there's over 100 brands in that guide that I typically pick up at the Goodwill outlet to sell, just because I know they will sell consistently. So both of those are linked down in the description box below. I also have a bundle that's discounted if you want to buy both of them. So they're definitely down in the description box if you are interested in that. If you need extra help, they will definitely be beneficial to you. So number 4 is you are not including critical keywords in your listings. And since I've been doing closet reviews, I kind of never paid attention before I started doing the closet reviews, to other people's listings and what, their titles and their descriptions were. But since I started doing the closet reviews, I really have seen just how much people are leaving out of their listings. And I tell people what to go in and fix, and they fix it, and they sell stuff overnight just because their stuff was not searchable. You have to make sure that your items are searchable, or nobody's going to be able to find them to buy them. So you have to be including the correct keywords for your items. You want to say the brand, you want to say what the item is, you want to make sure you say what the item is. That is crucial. And then after that, you can include, colors and stuff like that. And this is something that I go through with my coaching clients, probably every single one. I go through and I pick, specific listings, and I give them specific examples of what they need to change. And a lot of them see sales from it, from just changing keywords. Your keywords are so important in your description. your titles are important as well. So if you don't have what the item is in your title, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you make a sale because nobody can search for your items. If you are interested in getting a closet review, I'll put the info for that down below, just so you can read about it. And you know, if you want me to go through your closet, definitely check that out. So number three is something that I've mentioned in a couple of my videos, just because they were really pushing this at PoshFest. And that is, you are not covering enough of the Posh markets. The Posh markets feature was launched a few months ago, and they have really been pushing this. And you know, every day they're kind of rolling out new markets. So they just introduced a gifts market. And you know, you want to have items that are going to be included in that gifts market, especially this time of year when people are shopping for new with tag items to use as gifts. And that way, you know, the list of those items that are included in that category, you can kind of keep in your mind when you're out sourcing, so that you can have more things in your closet that are new with tag and that also people can bundle. So, you know, you want to cover as many of the Posh markets as possible: men's, women's, plus size, luxury, boutique. If you're doing resale, you're mainly not going to have boutique. And no, do not go and mark new with tags items as boutique just to be covered in the boutique category, because they are not the same thing. But you want to cover as many of those markets as possible. So a lot of times people have separated their closets into men's or women's closets, and you don't want to do that anymore. At PoshFest, they were very encouraging and very, you know, persuading people to have multiple categories in their closet: men's, women's, kids. So if a mom is going and shopping for her family, she can buy something in your closet for her entire family. She pays one shipping price and she's happy. So that's really what they were pushing at PoshFest. I do have a PoshFest video, which I will put down below if you are interested in watching that. I go into a little more details in that video about what we covered at PoshFest. But yeah, make sure that you are including all of those categories in your closet, and make sure you have as big of a variety of items as possible in your closet. So number two is very important. Number two, and I kind of went into this in my last video in part one, but I want to talk about it a little more. And number two is that you are not pricing your items correctly. So, you know, in part one, we talked about undervaluing your items. And for this, I want to talk about specifically pricing. So you don't want to price things. You don't want to price them too high, first of all, because the flip side of undervaluing is way overpricing your items. You do not want to overprice your item with the mindset, oh, well, somebody will make an offer. No. You have overpriced your item to a certain extent. You will actually scare people away from making an offer, okay? So if you have a dress that's worth maybe 20 bucks and you have that dress priced at $100, nobody's even gonna make you an offer. They're just gonna go and find the dress from someone else who has it priced reasonably. And you know, you want to price up just so people can make offers to you, because that's part of what they want to do. And I go into more of that in my pricing guide that I talked about, which is linked down below, which covers, you know, how to comp and how to price your items to a point where you can make the customer feel like they're getting a deal, but you're still making money. That is really the key to it. So if you are struggling with your pricing, and that also goes into closet clear out and offer to likers, that guide is linked down below. But you don't want to overprice your items to the point where it scares all of your customers away. Because if you have all of your items overpriced and all you have in your closet is $100 items that are actually worth, like, you know, $15 to $20, you're not going to sell anything. You're not going to make any sales. So your pricing is very, very important. That's why I wrote the guide about it, because it's so important in terms of you getting customers and offers, and you know, nobody's even gonna interact with your stuff if it's too overpriced. So nobody's gonna, you know, leave likes on it. You're not gonna be able to send out offers, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be a whole problem that's gonna lead to you not getting any sales. Okay, so number one, this is number one biggest mistake that you make when you're trying to make sales on Poshmark. And you know, if you are not making sales, this is probably going to be part of your problem. And number one is you are not being consistent. If you are not consistently listing, if you are not consistently sharing, your closet's going to die off. It's going to not favor the algorithm. Your listings aren't going to be seen. Nobody's going to share your stuff because nobody's going to see your closet. So you need to be consistently listing every single day. And I talk about this in every video, but you need to be listing, you know, 5 items every single day. Even if that means having to photograph a bulk amount of items at once, just so you can have 5 a day for the next few days, do that. Because you have to be listing every single day and you have to be sharing. You know, this is why I created the share group. You have to have a routine. You have to be consistent with what you're doing, or it's not gonna work. You're not gonna have any sales. So, you know, that's why I created my share group, which is linked down below. It's really a support group of people who are dedicated to sharing everyone's items, and they are consistent every single day. And it's really amazing the feedback that I have gotten from it, and the feedback on how many sales people are making from it is just amazing. Like, that's what I wanted to happen when I made it, and I'm so happy with the feedback that I'm getting, because it has helped so many people who were making no sales, and now they're getting daily sales from it, which is absolutely amazing. So being consistent and developing a routine is going to help you make those daily sales. Like, people ask me all the time, how do you make sales every day? You have to be consistent every day. Poshmark is, you get out of it what you put into it. When I don't list stuff, my sales go poof. So you have to be listing every single day. And you know, especially those of you who want to do this full time, you can't roll your eyes at that. This is a job. Like, sharing is part of the job. People look at all this stuff as an inconvenience, you know, the listing, the sharing. Is it tedious? Is it annoying? Yes, but you have to do it, because especially if you want to be full-time, you have to treat it like a job. And yes, you can do your job at any time of the day, but you have to treat it like a job. So you can't look at sharing as an inconvenience. You can't look at listing as an inconvenience. You can't look at all these elements of Poshmark as an inconvenience, because this is how Poshmark works. If you want Poshmark to be your job, you have to go along with what works. So those are my top 10 mistakes and how to avoid them. I hope this will help somebody, lots of people. I hope, you know, that you at least found one thing that you can take away from this video. I have a lot of information down in the description box for you that I talked about in part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is linked down below as well, so that you can go and watch it. And I hope that you will really take some of these things to heart, because you absolutely can grow Poshmark into a side hustle or a full-time job, and you know, you'll have freedom. You won't have to go to a job every day. So I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you will subscribe. If you have any questions for me, definitely leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.